Stubble was a racehorse, and I wish he were mine. He never drank water, he always drank wine. His bridle was silver, his mane it was gold, and the worth of his saddle has never been told.
Now, down in Cape Breton, they have a pale ale that they call Bredor. Now, most ales have about 6%. Well, theirs has about 6% more. There's many a tale of things that happened after a pint or two, but the most related story that's told is about a famous two who on a Saturday night in May consumed more Bredor than their share, and the trouble that followed that night made them a famous pair. Now, Freddie never owned a car. He only rode Nellie, his faithful horse. And most nights he was always found in the local pub, of course. His best friend was the purveyor and owner of the bar. For a favor for Freddie, sometimes he would just go too far. Like that Saturday when he yelled out the last call. Freddie hadn't had enough Bredor to drink at all. Now, knowing that Sundays in Cape Breton were always very dry and you couldn't buy a single drink no matter how hard you try. To Freddie, this shortage of ale was a personal weekly concern, and he was always concocting a way to sate his Sunday yearn. That faithful night, he recalled, there was a bucket by the back door. He passed it to his bartender friend and asked him to pour. With a bucket of beer to give him hope for a Sunday full of fun. Out the back to old Nellie's side, Freddie would quickly run. But there was one thing to do before he climbed on old Nellie's back. He had to potty, so he dropped the bucket by Nellie's side and went out back. Now Nellie had been standing for 3 hours, and what do you think? Poor old Nellie was dry and really needed something to drink. When Freddie returned from his trip out back and buttoned up his fly, he grabbed the pail and yelled a shriek, "Oh my God, it's dry!" So, with a grimace on his face, he crawled into the saddle, knowing full well that Sunday would just be another dry battle. He fell asleep with both arms wrapped around old Nellie's neck. And he knew that she knew her way home, so he didn't give a heck. Now, Freddie's town had a cop who hated to see drinking people drive, and that night with his breathalyzer, he'd already arrested 5. Clancy was set and ready for the next vehicle he would stop when he heard the sound of old Nellie's approaching clippity-clop. But then he noticed Nellie heaved a great big lurch and dumped poor old Freddie in the driveway of the church. Now Clancy didn't cotton to drunkards on the street, so he grabbed poor Freddie and hauled him to his feet. The first thing he noticed was the blood on Freddie's face. So back to the patrol car to call 911 he did race. Now old Nellie started walking, and the cruiser she did pass, she let us snort, a cough, and heaves and filled the air with gas. The breathalyzer screeched. They say it broke the meter's hand, and it set a new record for any drunkard in the land. The ambulance arrived and toted Freddie away. No one knew if he was really hurt, and the doctor wouldn't say. Now Clancy had a problem of what to do with the horse. He said, "I'll tie him to the bumper and I'll tow him home, of course." So he tied the reins to the rear bumper of the cruiser car and started very slowly, but he didn't get very far, for Nellie was reluctant to leave without her trusty friend. So she reared on her two hind feet and onto the car's rear end. She broke the rear window, shattering the window pane with broken glass inside the car, and on Clancy it did rain. Standing on the cruiser, Nellie began to profusely bleed. Poor Clancy had a problem he surely didn't need. "This is the greatest challenge that I've faced as yet. What do I do with her? Shall I call the vet? What do I need to get the horse off the roof, and how can I stop the blood rushing from her hoof?" After a bad hangover, Nellie recovered from the cuts. The constabulary captain decided that Clancy was really nuts. Clancy still has the scars from the broken window glass. And Nellie's gone to pasture and is now feasting on the grass. Casey is retired and joins Freddie at the bar. Freddie's still resolute. He'll never own a car. The rest of the town, well, it still remains the same. And now you know how pale ales really got their name.
Oh, stew